Welcome to Baby Stuff. Today, we'll be taking a fascinating journey into the earliest stages of human development, exploring the intricate processes that occur during the first fortnight of pregnancy. Chapter 1. Conception and Cleavage. The first chapter in the journey of human development begins with conception, the moment when a sperm successfully fertilizes an egg to create a zygote. This event typically occurs in the fallopian tube, where the sperm, having traveled from the male reproductive tract, meets and merges with the egg. The fusion of these two cells results in a unique combination of genetic material, establishing the genetic blueprint for a new individual. Once the zygote forms, it immediately begins to divide through a process called cleavage. In this phase, the single-celled zygote rapidly divides into multiple smaller cells, known as blastomeres. This series of divisions continues as the zygote moves towards the uterus, eventually forming a compact cluster of cells known as a blastocyst. This early development is critical, as it prepares the blastocyst for its next major milestone, implantation. Chapter 2. Journey to the uterus. Around day 6 after conception, the blastocyst embarks on a journey from the fallopian tube to the uterus. This migration is essential for successful implantation and the subsequent stages of pregnancy. As the blastocyst travels, it continues to divide, forming an inner cell mass and an outer layer of cells called the trophoblast. The inner cell mass will later develop into the embryo, while the trophoblast plays a crucial role in embedding the blastocyst into the uterine wall. Once the blastocyst reaches the uterus, it must implant itself into the thickened uterine lining, or endometrium. This process involves the trophoblast cells releasing enzymes to break down a small section of the endometrium, allowing the blastocyst to burrow into the uterine wall. Successful implantation is a critical step that establishes a stable environment for the embryo's growth and development. Chapter 3. Formation of the embryonic disc. After implantation, the inner cell mass of the blastocyst differentiates to form the embryonic disc. This disc is a flat structure composed of two layers, the epiblast and the hypoblast. These two layers represent the early foundation from which the various tissues and organs of the developing fetus will eventually arise. The formation of the embryonic disc also marks the beginning of further specialization and differentiation. As the epiblast and hypoblast continue to develop, they give rise to the three germ layers: ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm. Each of these layers has a specific role in forming different parts of the body. The ectoderm, for example, will become the skin and nervous system, while the mesoderm forms muscles, bones, and the cardiovascular system. The endoderm will develop into internal organs like the lungs and intestines. Chapter 4. The placenta and umbilical cord. As the embryo implants and the embryonic disc forms, the development of the placenta begins. The placenta is a temporary organ that serves as the interface between the mother and the embryo. It plays a vital role in providing nutrients and oxygen while removing waste products. The placenta's formation starts with the trophoblast cells, which grow into the uterine lining, creating a complex network of blood vessels and tissue. Simultaneously, the umbilical cord begins to develop, forming a lifeline between the embryo and the placenta. This cord contains blood vessels that transport oxygen and nutrients from the mother to the embryo and carry waste products back to the placenta for removal. The placenta and umbilical cord are essential for the embryo's survival and growth during the early stages of pregnancy. Chapter 5. The hormonal symphony. Early pregnancy is governed by a delicate balance of hormones. One of the key hormones is human chorionic gonadotropin, HCG, produced by the developing placenta. This hormone plays a critical role in signaling the body to maintain a supportive environment for the embryo. It also prevents the breakdown of the uterine lining, ensuring the embryo has a stable place to grow. Other hormones, such as estrogen and progesterone, also contribute to early pregnancy. Estrogen helps maintain the uterine lining, while progesterone prevents uterine contractions that could disrupt the embryo's development. Together, these hormones create a harmonious environment that supports the embryo's growth and prepares the mother's body for the demands of pregnancy. Chapter 6. Genetic blueprint and early development. As the embryonic cells continue to divide and differentiate, the genetic blueprint of the new individual begins to take shape. The DNA contained in the embryonic cells carries the genetic information that determines the embryo's characteristics. This blueprint will influence traits like eye color, hair color, and even predisposition to certain diseases. The process of genetic expression during early development is complex, with specific genes being activated or suppressed at different times. This regulation ensures the proper development of various tissues and organs. The unfolding of the genetic blueprint during the first 2 weeks lays the groundwork for the unique attributes and traits that will define the future individual. Chapter 7: Psychological Impact of Early Pregnancy. The first 2 weeks of pregnancy can be a time of mixed emotions for expectant parents. While there is often excitement and anticipation, there can also be anxiety and uncertainty. The psychological impact of early pregnancy is significant, as parents begin to come to terms with the reality of bringing a new life into the world. Understanding the early stages of pregnancy can help alleviate some of this anxiety. Knowing the processes involved in conception, implantation, and early development can provide reassurance and a sense of connection with the developing baby. Many parents find comfort in learning about these early stages and understanding the remarkable journey that is unfolding. Chapter 8: The Foundation of Parental Bonding. The first 2 weeks of pregnancy are also the beginning of the journey toward parental bonding. While the physical connection between mother and embryo is just starting to form, the emotional bond is already taking shape. This bond is rooted in love, care, and the anticipation of the life to come. For many parents, the knowledge that a new life is growing within them fosters a sense of responsibility and commitment. Even at this early stage, the foundation for parental bonding is established, and the journey of becoming a parent begins to take shape. The shared experience of pregnancy creates a unique and profound connection that will continue to grow throughout the pregnancy and beyond. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel to see more videos like this. Bye.